Hi there, welcome to my weekly live stream. I'm Christine Weber. I love supporting mature yoga teachers and getting their wisdom out there in the world. So today I want to show you three different poses, three different ways to use a chair as a prop in three different poses that makes it more accessible and more fun. Sometimes even though I don't need a prop for many poses, using the prop, it's incredible because it gives you a different way of experiencing the pose. And I'm not interested in sort of using, I'm not that interested in using yoga as a, tight body, get strong sort of practice. I use it as a way to regulate my nervous system, which has a lot to do with interoceptive awareness. And so creating opportunities to feel things differently in your body is amazing. And the chair can be a great tool for that. It's also really good as an accessibility tool too. So it just makes things more available to people, folks feeling scared because of balance poses. I'm going to show you one of those today, or because they're low back. That's why we want to use a chair, or at least have it available. So almost always I have a chair available when I'm teaching, because I want to show the variations that folks can do. And I don't use the word modification. I use the word variation because everybody's different. So let's show that variation. So the first one I want to do is a forward bend. And this can be especially good when folks are afraid of bending forward because their doctor told them they have to be careful of their back. They have low back pain. So for this one, you're going to take a breath in. And as you exhale, the hands come to the chair seat. The knees bend a little bit. The lower belly draws in. The chin tucks. Elbows can bend slightly. And then to lengthen the spine, lengthen your legs, breathe in to come back up. Okay, so there's a softness on the exhale except for your lower belly. And then there's an extension on your inhale, and you're leading with the chest and the face to come back up. So let's try that again. So deep breath in. You can take the arms up if you want. And then as you exhale, the hands come to the chair seat. Some people like hands on the side. That's also okay. The lower belly draws in. Excuse me. The chin tucks a bit. The knees soften. Maybe your elbows bend, but they don't have to. What we're trying to do is experience that whole back line, calves, hamstrings, all the way up through your low back and even into the back of the neck. So you're feeling a stretch there. And then on the inhale, lengthen the spine, straighten the legs, come back up. Now I held the exhale too long there. So I usually go up and down and up and down and up and down a few times, because that's initiates the proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. And then you can stay down in the pose a little bit if you want, and then play here. So you can do inhale, lengthen the arms and legs and spine, and exhale, draw the belly in and soften everything down. So you can do inhale, lengthen, exhale, soften. And do that for maybe, and you could have your hands on the chair seat, you could have your hands on the side of the chair. And then when you're ready, inhale and come back up. Okay, so that's a forward bend with the chair, which feels really secure for a lot of people, and a lot of people who have low back pain actually can do that and feel a nice stretch through the back line, the myofascial back line. Okay, then for a variation of Utthita Trikonasana, or triangle pose, we're going to use the chair instead of a block. So my chair is right there. On the inhale, the arms float out to the side. On the exhale, my right knee softens a little bit. And my right hand just plants itself right in the middle of the chair, and then float back up on the inhale. So another variation of that could be exhale, soften the front knee, and the left arm reaches all the way over towards the left ear, and then inhale back up. And then it truly makes it a lateral bend. It truly makes it a lateral bend where you're feeling the sensations all the way through the side body and even into the psoas. So, and then on the next exhale, you can stay. There's lots and lots of things you can do from here. I have so many different variations of triangle pose, but we'll just stay here and maybe look up at the crook of your elbow. Some people like that, or looking down at your right hand if that's too much on your neck. Sometimes just looking down is easier. And we're just feeling that sensation all the way from the armpit, through the ribs, down into the waist, and even into the hip a little bit. When you're ready to come back up, engage the lower belly, exhale, and then use the inhale to float back up. And release your belly at the end, and that can be very supportive for sacroiliac joint dysfunction and low back issues. It's going to be very supportive because lateral bends can be a little bit risky for the low back. Now, the last one I want to show you is a variation of half moon. So for this one, we're actually going to pull the right foot slightly away, about 6 inches or so, maybe 8 inches from the chair, and then bend the right knee. So the arms go up to the side. Breathe in. Bend the right knee, right hand comes to the chair, maybe left hand on your waist. For some people that feels more secure. And then start to take the left foot up off the floor. So it could be exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, inhale back up. So you could do that a few times so you get the preparation for it. And then when you're ready, staying in the pose. So left foot can stay on the floor, or the toes can be close to the floor, or you can play with starting to lift it. And once you have balance, you can start to turn the head and the shoulder girdle, maybe extend the left arm. So you have lots of options for this one too. But it's so lovely to have that chair, to use that chair rather for a prop in classes. And then, people who don't want to use the chair, the way that I like to do it is like, we're all going to do the chair. Then if you don't want to use the chair, then don't use the chair. Or if you want to use a block instead, use a block instead. But everybody being on the chair together gives that kind of collective feeling, and then you eliminate the feeling of shame rather than starting with, this is how you do the pose, and you put your hand on the floor. Oh, you can't do that, you loser, here's a chair for you, right? And when we explain it by saying, like, this is a different feeling, the pose feels different, there's more spaciousness in the chest, for example, when you use the chair, then people can understand it as a variation of the experience rather than like a subpar expression of the pose, So I hope that's helpful for you. I really would encourage you, if you're not already, to get out there and work with the 50+ people. There's so many good reasons to work with older people with yoga, helping to reduce chronic pain, helping to self-manage chronic illnesses, like getting some exercise, for example, diabetes and heart disease, helping to have a sense of community and feel like they're connected to others. There's so many great reasons to get out there and work with people that are 50+. Often you won't find them at yoga studios. Some studios are more community centered for older people, but a lot are not. So I like libraries, community colleges. I've worked at Olli College for Seniors. I've worked at lots of independent living facilities. I've worked with vets at community centers and the VA. There's so many different ways to reach out to those older people. You just have to be kind of creative about it. Libraries are another good one. And churches. So be creative, find different places where you can teach and share the wisdom and the beauty of these practices, because there's lots of people out there that really need them. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you next week. Take care.